What's up, guys? It's Techno Viking 23 coming to you today with a little bit of Destiny commentary. It's been a while since I've actually done a Destiny video. I've been doing a lot of Mass Effect stuff and having some fun playing some other games and doing some other things. But what I wanted to go over today was something that I found over on Bungie.net yesterday. I was actually every so often I'll go and wander the cesspool that is the Bungie.net forums and see what people are talking about, see what's going on over there and what people are upset about. And today we found some very interesting stuff. If you guys want to slow the video down, you can kind of read the forum post that I've got here on the screen. Now, I will also link to this forum post below in the description so you guys can go check it out for yourselves. I want to give credit to the Bungie.net user, I believe it's Anatomize. He is the one who posted this thread that I originally came across. He basically says, pay to win Destiny is coming with evidence. And he goes on to point out a few things. He shows this image, which basically shows the Eververse Trading Company has a line item that basically says you can return consumables in it, which right now, of course, the Eververse Trading Company only offers emotes. I'm not going to really get into that because I think, we've covered that enough already. I do think the pricing structure, again, is ridiculous with Activision. If you're silly enough to want to buy all 18 of those emotes, it's going to cost you like $40, which you're basically going to pay for an entire expansion to get a couple silly dance moves that really have no use in the game except for a couple of PvP exploits, apparently. I've been seeing people in Iron Banner using some of these dance emotes to actually dodge sniper shots and other things, and it appears that there are some exploits, as there were before with Thorn, where you could use the sit-down emote to actually get rid of the Thorn damage over time effect, which was, a problem in a couple of the past Iron Banners. But let's not talk about that today. Let's actually talk about the fact of, is Destiny going to eventually go pay to win with this Eververse Trading Company? And as I said in my one video I did when I talked about the microtransactions coming to Destiny, I think there is definite concern there, of course, because this is Activision, and you cannot trust Activision for anything. I think all of us know that by now. If you don't think that, if you think Activision is not going to try to take advantage of its player base and try to screw over its consumers and make more money when they can off of the mindless zombies that continue to support them, then you're just being naive. So as I'm reading through this thread, he had a link there also to a spot on Destiny tracker that has the database for consumables in the game, and we know that Tess is going to be selling them eventually. And there's some very interesting consumables that are in the database that this guy is assuming, and I'm thinking rightfully so on most of these, are going to be available at Tess's Trading Company. Now, one of these is a subclass infusion, which is going to fully level your currently equipped subclass. So basically, you would use that consumable and your subclass would be completely maxed out. You don't have to do any of the grinding, any of the bounties, any of the other stuff to get that leveled up. There's also a couple of drops. There's one called Indomitable Light, which increases the likelihood of weapon and armor drops from your next King's Fall foe, which would be in the raid, so that's giving you a higher loot drop chance in the raid. There's also Valorous Light, which increases likelihood of weapon and armor drops from your next heroic King's Fall foe, which is so that'd be the hard mode raid, doing the same initial thing. There are starter packs for level 25 for Warlocks, Titans, and Hunters, which contain a level 25 boost, a subclass infusion to fully level up one of your subclasses, and also telemetries to probably help you level up your weapons and other things. Then there's also all kinds of other stuff. There's different consumables like Void Shackles, which give you more XP gain when you're killing high for 10 minutes. And this is something I did go over in my other video. I said, eventually you're going to probably see things like this coming into the store. And we now know that these items are in the database. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with this. Now, of course, Luke Smith has, I guess, seen this thread or one of these threads on the forums because it's a pretty hot topic going around the forums right now. It appears that Bungie has really irritated a lot of people with this latest patch. Of course, if you guys haven't read the patch notes for the patch that came out with the new Iron Banner, they've made a lot of different changes to the game. Once again, they still cannot figure out how they want this game to go in terms of stability. They just continue to make these major changes to it over and over. And basically what they've done now is they've made it even more difficult to get in-game rewards such as Motes of Light, Strange Coins, Weapon Parts. They're nerfing the drop rate on those when you dismantle things. So they just continue to do whatever they can to make your playtime increase. Weapon parts already are a bit of an issue if you're trying to level up some of those weapons and things. and now they're going to make weapon parts even more scarce. But it just seems like, again, they don't know what they want to do with this game. They continue to make drastic changes with every patch. But Luke Smith kind of jumped out on Twitter and said, we don't have any intention of selling consumables that are going to improve loot drops and blah blah blah. And I'm sorry, Luke Smith, but I don't believe you for a second. I think you're full of shit, number one. Number two, I think you don't care about the Destiny players. I think you've already shown your true colors in that little interview you did with Eurogamer, and I think you're just an all-around kind of douchebag who is definitely in the Activision camp, even though you're working for Bungie. So I'm sorry, guys, if I don't believe anything Luke Smith says. I'm that skeptical, especially. And again, I'm going to talk about the track record. You have to look at Bungie's track record with Destiny. You have to look at Activision's track record with Destiny and Call of Duty and other games they've done microtransactions in and ruined. And I just don't buy it. I don't buy it one bit. Luke Smith said basically these were items that were already in the database. They were supposed to be sold by the speaker, but for some odd reason they took them out of the game. Again, I don't buy that excuse because obviously they're letting Xur sell 3 of coins, which improves your exotic drop chance. So if Xur can sell 3 of coins, why wouldn't they let the speaker sell some of these items to give you better raid drop chance? I don't understand. And that doesn't change the fact that there's these other consumables that are in there to fully level you up to level 25, to give you telemetries, to fully level up your subclass, and do other things. Now, these aren't necessarily pay to win, but this is sort of in the middle of that road. You can definitely see the future path here of what it's going towards. This is only a start, and anyone who thinks, I've seen all the responses. Everybody's like, "Oh, but they're not going to do pay to win. They won't do it. They're not going to do it. This is just some stuff if you want to level up quick and get more XP." Yeah, that's how it starts, guys. If you don't think Activision is beyond doing actual things like increasing your loot drop chance with a consumable that's sold for real money, then you're being completely naive, and I'm sorry. That's just the brutal, honest truth. Again, this is Activision. Look at the track record. It's there. It's definitely there. And I would not be surprised in the least bit if this does lead into the eventual thing like, oh, buy a pack of blue engrams for silver. Buy a drop that increases your rate for getting engrams, like 3 of coins for real money. Then they'll probably nerf the 3 of coins one into the ground so the free one's not worth it, and they'll give you one in the pay for money store. That'll be really good and guarantee you a drop, or you'll be guaranteed to get a drop off a boss or something. It's the potential is there, and that's what's really scary here. And along with a lot of the other changes they put in place with this new patch, I think a lot of people are finally starting to see the light with Destiny. They're finally starting to realize what's going on with Destiny. And the fact that we have such silly microtransactions in this game now, especially for all these emotes and things, like, these emotes, if you look at the pricing structure, it's like $2 to $4 for some of these emotes. If you want to pay $4 to make your character dance in a video game, I'm sorry, but I think that's nonsense. I think it's kind of ridiculous. Instead of making these things unlocks in the game naturally, where people can earn them by just playing the game and having fun, again, they wanted to do microtransactions. So, in Destiny is what I've said a lot of times all along with this game is this is basically just a console version of a mobile game for your cell phone. And basically what Activision has seen, and they've actually talked about this in several interviews, if you go back and you can find articles all over the place, there's this huge boom in mobile gaming. Mobile gaming is making a ton of money. And the console companies, the developers, the publishers, they want to get in on that now. They're seeing how much money you can make just putting out these mindless mobile games and letting the 12-year-old kids and their parents just buy all this stuff and pay for all these in-game microtransactions. Interestingly enough, even though I don't really pay much attention to pop culture, Kanye West recently went on a rant on Twitter because their child was playing one of these mobile games on the cell phone and apparently racked up a whole bunch of microtransaction charges, and he was basically going on a rant talking about how these gaming companies are just so greedy and taking advantage of children and putting microtransactions in kids' games and things like that. It was very, very interesting to see it in pop culture sort of come out, even though I personally think Kanye West is an idiot and he's not a very good rapper. He did have some very valid points, and it was interesting to see this argument kind of moving into the pop culture space for a few minutes. But Activision has said in a few interviews, and the other developers have also, they've seen the amount of money that can be made with this type of formula, and now I believe we're going to start seeing this in our video games. Unfortunately, some of these games coming out are already just very expensive. Destiny is a very expensive game if you've paid for all the DLC packs and things. And don't tell me it's an MMO, guys, because it's not an MMO. This game is nowhere near an MMO. So it shouldn't have an MMO type pricing structure. You've got Star Wars Battlefront, which is going to come out. It's already got a $50 season pass before the game's even out after somewhat of a lackluster but kind of fun beta. Now they're already talking about how you're going to have to spend another $50 to get some of the full features of the game. EA and Activision are at the front of this movement, but that's what you're going to be seeing from now on is some of these games coming out and trying to jump into that mobile gaming market. And Destiny definitely has the fan base for it because I'm of the opinion that most of the major diehard Destiny fans who defend this game to the death, who refuse to see any fault with this game and who do not want to, give Activision any crap for it. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of these are younger kids who really don't care about some of the more important things in a game, like well-developed story, well-developed characters, and things like that. So I think Activision's already got that army and legion of Destiny fanboys. And if you guys enjoy the game, that's great. I'm happy for you. I'm not going to call you a fanboy because you like playing the game. But if you're one of those people who refuses to admit that this game has any faults, who just denies any of the problems that are in this game and supports Activision blindly, then you're a fanboy. And those are the people I'm talking about here. And Destiny sure has a huge number of those. And I don't think Activision cares, really, to be honest, about the criticism. And I don't think Bungie cares about the criticism either, because as we've seen through the Marty O'Donnell lawsuit, a lot of people are talking about how it's bad that Marty actually is no longer with Bungie. I actually think it's a good thing because through all the court cases and all the court documents that have been coming out with that whole fiasco, we're basically getting to see that you can see how much of a hold Activision now has on Bungie after Bungie inked that contract with them. And, Bungie's stuck in that for the next 10 years unless they want to, buy that out. So I don't think things are going to improve. That's one of the reasons I don't think Destiny is going to get any better because we've seen how this Bungie operates. And Marty O'Donnell's lawsuit, the court documents and everything pretty much showed how Bungie's become a bit of a culture of douchebags and they really just, pushing away some of their more beloved employees. And, you got guys like Deej and Luke Smith and their little pompous attitudes getting on all these video logs talking to us like we're 3 years old and we don't know anything about gaming. And they keep telling us Destiny's a learning experience, a company who's been developing games for a long, long time, 20 years or so, and who made one of the greatest gaming franchises of all time. And yet they have to talk to us about how they have to have a learning experience with making Destiny. So overall, I think this is definitely a step in the wrong direction, seeing some of these consumable items that are going to be available probably at some point in the Eververse Trading Company. Now, of course, Luke Smith, like I said, he's claiming none of that, the ones that improve your raid loot drop chance are not actually going to be in there. He claims that those were going to be sold by the speaker, but yet they pulled that and decided not to do it. Again, I don't believe Luke Smith for 3 seconds. The guy is kind of an ass clown and he has proven already in the past that he's not trustworthy. And, of course, throw your money at the screen is what he's all about. So we'll see what happens, guys. This is going to be something I'm going to watch pretty closely. I will tell you guys, I'm not really playing much of Destiny anymore. I did jump on and try to play a little bit of Iron Banner. And it's just the same old experience. I thought it would be a little bit more fun this time around since they've supposedly balanced PvP. They took shot package off of shotguns, but I'm still getting killed by the exact same shotgun over and over, the Conspiracy Theory D. Still getting killed by the same weapons over and over again. Red Death is now pretty OP. But it's just, they haven't really changed anything. It's still unbalanced pretty badly, and I just really not enjoying it. And I gotta tell you, played the Star Wars Battlefront beta. Wasn't really super impressed with it, besides the graphics and the sounds and things, and the gameplay was decent. But I gotta be honest, I had a lot of fun playing the Battlefront beta. Now, I'm probably not going to get Battlefront because obviously I'm not going to be spending $60 and then a $50 season pass to get a game that seemed to have very little replay value in all honesty, unless they're just going to add a ton of stuff after the beta. But it was actually kind of fun and refreshing to play a little bit of a different PvP style there. So I don't know. I'm having a lot of fun doing my Mass Effect video series now, going into the different characters and talking about those. So I'm probably going to just focus on that for the time being until we get a release date on No Man's Sky. As for Destiny, I'm really not playing much anymore. I just don't find any reason to. There's not much left to do in the game, and of course, we have no idea when the next DLC is going to come out. And I can pretty much guarantee you it's probably going to be $30 to $40 and probably be pretty lackluster like the last couple have. But anyways, guys, be interested to hear your thoughts on some of this. like I said, go and check out that thread on Bungie.net. I'll link the Destiny Consumables page there so you guys can check those out. And in the first couple minutes of the video, there's also you can see some of that on screen if you want to slow down the video a little bit. But that's pretty much going to do it for me, guys. Like I said, I just wanted to bring this to your all's attention. I'm trying not to do as many Destiny videos because I kind of bombarded everybody for the last few weeks, and a couple of people were not real happy with that, and that's understandable. But I felt this was something worth talking about, worth discussing. So let me know your thoughts down below. Of course, try to keep it somewhat civil, guys. Don't be a troll. Don't be a dick. Try to have some good conversation. And, like I said, I'm just really interested to see what the overall feeling is about this. I think it's a bad thing. I don't think you can trust Activision, and you certainly can't trust Bungie at this point. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, guys, I hope you're having a great day. It is the middle of the week, so we're almost to the weekend. Hang in there a few more days. Thanks for watching as always, guys, and I will see you again next time.